Tam, guess what? We just got pulled over by the police.
Yeah, guess what? We've got to get new tires. They're not good.
What? Are you serious? Your tires are bald? Man, I haven't even noticed that. Well, okay, I hate buying tires, but I have an idea. We're going to try something new. Good morning. At least it's morning when I'm filming this video. So I'm about to show you one of the cool things about Land Rover products, at least the modern day ones. So here's my L322. This is a 2009 Range Rover Supercharged. And you can see, as most of them come, it's got some stock size street tires, manufacturer's alloy wheels, and they're nice looking vehicles. But we're about to embark on a project where we're going to take this unit and we're going to make it like just a little bit cooler. So this is Gina's, and it almost never goes off-road, but we love off-roading and we love having the ability to if ever needed. We have gone on some road trips. For example, when we went in the Ozarks to go chase elk and other places where four-wheel drive could be necessary and you want a capable vehicle. So stay tuned, and I'm about to show you how we're going to transition this from just a boring street vehicle to a multi-purpose true SUV. So stay tuned. So the first part of this equation are these new tires. We've got two here. I have two more coming over the next couple days. And this has a new tread. I've never even seen this before. This is actually a Goodyear Wrangler. And apparently it's not very popular. It's called the Authority because there weren't many of them out there. I actually bought these used and they were quite affordable. So we're going to try them. It was just a good way to get a more aggressive tread that looked cool and get a little more height off this. And I'll show you this a little later, but to get that height, we're going to add some 2-inch lift rods, which you can only do with Land Rover because they use air suspension, which is calculated by computer, and simple rods that determine the height of the vehicle. And I'll show you those in a bit, but right now I'm going to get these loaded up in the car. I won't be installing these myself like we did on the LR3. We're just going to take it to the tire shop and get it done. And because I've got some other projects we're focused on, but we're going to test these tires out. Like I say, mostly they'll be on the highway, so it doesn't really matter, but we want this thing to look a little bit cooler. So I'll show you the lift rods in just a bit. So they arrived. These are my lift rods. These are 2-inch lift rods. My LR3 has the original Johnson rods, but apparently nowadays they make all kinds of brands. These ones are even adjustable. You can adjust these back to the original height, so you don't have to worry about putting on the original rods if you wanted to go back. In my case, no need to go back, but these were quite affordable, so we're going to throw them on, and I'll show you how that works. All right, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to raise the suspension to the off-road height, and in our L322, it's right here. And as a reminder, all your doors need to be shut. Push the button up. Now we're going to watch our height go up. First the front and then the back levels out. All right, we're going to turn off the vehicle. And then we're going to go around to the other side, to the fuse box. And we've got another project going on under here, so everything's already torn apart. But if you look at the fuse panel here, get this away from the sunshine, should be this 20 amp fuse right here. 20 amp shows that it affects our up movement. Should be our suspension. So let's see which one that is. Oh, and I forgot my pliers. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4 from the left. That last yellow, or that first yellow, 20 amp. Right there. Grab my pliers and we'll pull that. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's the first yellow one. Pull that out. That'll hold or keep our suspension from adjusting. Guess we could keep the doors open as well and it would do the same thing, but I'm not, well, let's take a look and see how much height we have down here. Let's see how we want to do this. I was gonna not have to jack it up, but let me find the best way to get to it. So we're going to spray a little lube on these boots just to help them come off. Exactly want that on my driveway. On the bottom one, on the stationary one, I just used a screwdriver in between it to pry it up, but the top one is the actual positioning sensor, and it's just on a plastic arm, so we got to be a little more careful not to break that. Yeah, it's still easier to use a tool rather than wiggle it. So I'm holding the plastic arm with one hand and I'm prying it with the screwdriver with the other. These are just held on by rubber boots. So shouldn't be too difficult. You saw the bottom one pop right off. This was just a little more difficult because you don't have the same leverage. All right, here we go. So the first one is off. Just gonna make sure we put our replacement back on the same way. Typically, you spray a little silicone on there. Don't have any. I got this WD-40, which I don't really like, but put a little bit in there. Okay. Double check my angle. It doesn't look right. Yeah, I think I had it backwards. Okay. Okay, that one snapped on, and the bottom snapped on. So, a little fiddling, not difficult. All right, see if we can give you a little better view this time. So, bit of lube here. Oh, looks like I missed. Okay. Got a drip pan under this one. Let's see if I can get to it without bumping the camera. So the bottom one's pretty simple. It just slides right off because I have a solid point with the control arm to pry against, and it's off just like that. Gotta remember that the angle on this one has angles to the front, and the top one angles towards the back. So this is the one that's tricky because we have to hold the control arm or the calibration arm while we pry, and this one's just a little bit more difficult. Got the camera in my access area. All right. Okay. You just gotta push. I'm trying to be gentle with. Alright, do y'all remember the angles? The middle of the rod has to angle away. That's what it is. Spray a little bit of lube on these new bolts, or these new rubber. Pop the bottom one on. And you notice how my calibration lever has to go much higher now. Alright, I guess we're going to need two hands. There we go. Alright, well the back ones, they're a little more difficult to get to. A little more crowded by everything. Got this whole control arm that's totally blocking any kind of view of this side of it. So we're going to have to do that one blindly. Spray a little lube on here. Actually, we're just kind of killing time until the sun goes down. It's been very hot today. And we're out here on the side of the house where the sun sets. If it was a little cooler, I probably would have just pulled the jacks out and pulled the tires off, but I think we may still do that because we're just wasting time. I just need more leverage and I can't get it under here. So, let's do it, make it happen. So now you can see that, right? pull my camera out of my tripod so I can see what you're seeing. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. Here we are. Okay. So that's what we're going for, right down there. And I don't know if I can do this and hold my camera. Oh, that's the control arm one. There we go. There's the bottom one. Do the same to top without breaking our... This is our EAS system height calibration module. Sorry, I forgot the official term. And the arm moves up and down based on the suspension and modulates the height of the airbags. So I might have to put my camera down to get this one off, but we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to pry this off, and it takes two hands. So you can see what we're doing. I'm going to pause you for a minute. Okay, we're going to see if we can work that bottom one on. Let's, these back ones are a lot tighter than the front ones. Alright, gotta put you down again. And again, the trick here, getting this on easily, was a lot of lube. And then you get those edges greased up, and it slides right on. But you sure don't have to worry about those things falling off by accident. They're tight. Well, before the sun gets too bright here, thought I'd show the final result of our Range Rover Supercharged tire project. So we've kept the factory wheels. I found pretty much the largest tire that I felt comfortable with and still keep it a roadworthy vehicle. But we went up a couple sizes, added some extra sidewall height to our 20-inch wheels, and added a 2-inch lift. I think it turned out pretty good. The tires are Goodyear Wrangler Authorities, which I had never heard of. And funny thing is, I was in Walmart the other day, happened to walk past their tire aisle, and they had those tires sitting on the shelf. So I don't know what that's all about, but they were quite affordable, especially for the tread and the size. Granted, I did buy them slightly used, but I found that if you take some time and do some searching, you can find some really good opportunities with tires that work great. So we're going to wrap this project up and call it another day.